being productive doesn't have to mean that you're constantly doing things. It doesn't have to mean that you wake up, you have this to-do list, boom, 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 every hour you're getting things. That's not what productivity consists of. Productivity consists of prioritizing tasks and making sure you are handling the things that are important to you. That's what productivity is. So there are going to be days where you might not need to get a lot done. That doesn't mean you feel bad that you weren't productive. It means that you take the time to embrace the day and you're relaxed, girl. Why is it so hard to be productive though? Like, I was literally writing out the outline for this YouTube video and that question popped up in my head. Why is it so hard for us to get things done? Productivity may look very different for everyone. Someone else's type of productive may look different from your type of productive. Maybe we need to somehow change our mindset. Don't use that as an excuse though, but we need to change our mindset on what productivity is for us. Because the end goal isn't to be productive. The end goal is to be in a state of peace. But productivity requires you to do that. Girl. Cheers. Another reason why it can be so difficult to be productive is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is like a thief in the night. Like, she'll just creep up on you when you least expect it. And if you're not paying attention, she'll creep up on you in ways that you don't expect. Literally, before I even came and recorded this video, I feel like sometimes I have problems with public speaking. While I was prepping myself to come do this video, just getting myself together a little bit, I literally was having crazy self-sabotage thoughts. It was just consistent negative self-talk happening. And I had to sit there, stop, and think, or tell myself, I control my thoughts. That's the first thing. Whenever you are thinking something that you don't want to think, remember, you control your thoughts. You control your thoughts. And I had to tell myself, you're self-sabotage. And I needed to also tell myself that this is a safe place. I'm into mindfulness, but I'm also into knowing the science of certain things. They say that when you self-sabotage, it's a reaction from your brain because your brain doesn't feel safe. I've had an experience where I had a certain video way back going viral, and it was a very controversial topic, but at the time I wasn't in the position to receive the negativity. Is positive that came with it, but there was also a whole lot of negative. Like, I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't ready. I was not ready at all. If anything didn't tell my brain it wasn't a safe place, that did. So getting back into YouTube, starting all over again, now that my brain has had that experience, now that I've had that fight or flight, now that I've had that anxiety, now that I had that negative feeling towards YouTube already, now my brain's like, okay, well, I gotta keep you safe from having that feeling again. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you everything that's wrong with you. I'm gonna tell you all the reasons you could possibly fail. I'm gonna tell you all the possible negative scenarios, negative outcomes that could come out of this, because I want to protect you and I don't want you to feel that way again. And again, this could pertain to anything. I'm just using myself as an example. So when your brain is doing that, it tends to do what we call self-sabotage, because your brain is telling you, it's trying to protect you so that you don't go back and you don't go do that again. And if you don't know why our brains do that, they say that our brains do that from back when humans were developing, because if we did something wrong, like cut our pinky on fire, the way for us to survive was our brains telling us what to not do. Oh, did I just see him eat a poison cherry? Did I just see him eat that red thing from that specific leaf and die? Girl, don't do that. Anything red, I'm staying away from. Oh, it's good for you. Nope, I'm good. Yeah, that would have been me. That's where you just have to have the understanding, because now you just have to untrain your brain to do those things. Okay, I need to untrain my brain and let it know, hey, YouTube is safe. This is a safe environment for me, okay? No need to self-sabotage. I'm doing it now and it feels great. How to be productive. So let's get into the nitty gritty. So I'm about to give you guys a couple tips. Tip number 1. If you have to find what works for you, and this gets so much more deeper than what I just said, okay? Because you think that and you think, oh, I need to find the right routine that works for me, or I need to find the right to-do list that works for me, whatever the case may be. First, let's start with routines. When you have a routine, we see so many morning routines, night routines, productive routines. You really have to know what works for you. You cannot watch a YouTube video of a morning routine and say, I'm going to follow that exactly because I like the way it looks and it's probably going to work for me and I want to look like that. No. If you're looking at routines or other people be productive for ideas, that's one thing. But if you're looking at it to copy verbatim what they are doing, and if they're telling you to do it like that, don't do it. In fact, run. Get rid of it. Don't, because it may not work for you. And that literally goes with anything. Even if someone's teaching you social media, oh, do these 5 steps like me and you're going to reach. No, because guess what? That person may have a completely different niche than you. I'm getting off track, but you know what I mean. So you have to really know this is going to take time. One thing I've learned about building routines or finding out how I want to be productive, I had to find out what worked for me, and by doing that, it took me several tries. The first routine I had, I did it, but I wasn't really feeling it. It wasn't my favorite. So why would I keep doing a routine that didn't work for me? That doesn't make any sense. I realized meditating in the morning is not for me because guess what? I will go back to sleep. However, meditating in the middle of the day and or meditating at night suits me a little bit better. So even the littlest things, you have to make sure it works for you. How are you going to be productive in terms of time blocking, scheduling, calendars? There are so many different types of ways for you to do things. My advice to you is just get started first. As you go along your day and you do research, because you may just find the thing that works for you from somebody else. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing idea. I'm going to implement that. And now you have an entire routine made of different things that you learned because that's what works for. That's what works for you, baby. You have to do what works for you. The way you know it's working for you is by making sure you're in a state of flow, making sure your day is flowing. Number 2, prioritize. This is something that I just never did. I wasted so much time. It's important for you to prioritize your task. I'm going to give an example. I have started and stopped YouTube and social media so many times, and I've realized in the past, one of the main reasons why my workflow did not flow was because I did not prioritize tasks at all. I'll start something and I'm like, okay, wait, I have to get this little detail and I have to get this little detail and I have to get this little detail. And every single detail has to be perfect before I can move on to the next detail. And by the time I'm finished with all these small, minute details, when it comes to the big picture, I'm too burnt out to get it done. I had to really approach my YouTube, my blog, this go round completely different from when I have ever done it because I had to prioritize. And I had to learn, okay, I'm not going to prioritize these things at the moment, but as you prioritize your tasks, you're going to eventually get to those things. Those details are eventually going to be next on the things to do because you're going to get there. You just have to figure out what is important now. So you really have to be honest with yourself. What is important? How do you figure out what's important? What's your goal? Number 3, your mentality. How do you be productive? You work on your mental. The biggest issue with being productive amongst all of us is pushing on those days that we just don't want to. I had to really change my mentality when it came to doing or being productive and getting tasks done. And the biggest thing when it comes to those is dismissing how we feel. Feelings can be the absolute worst when it's not necessary. And it's not necessary when you're trying to have a productive day. It's not necessary when you're building routine. When you sit there and say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 6:30. You did it yesterday, the day before that, right? But then today comes and you're like, I'm not. What do we say? I don't feel like it. Nope. Nope. To combat that, I'm going to give you guys something to focus on: mindfulness. Focus on mindfulness. If you want me to talk more about this, comment below. I could definitely make a video on it, help you out with it, girl. But you need to work on mindfulness. The process of being in the present. Second, don't even give yourself the emotion. Don't even allow yourself to feel. You have to put yourself in a predicament where you don't think about, and that's the purpose of a routine, because when we get to thinking, we think ourselves out of doing what we're supposed to do. That thought of acknowledging that feeling, don't acknowledge it. Just wake up and guess what? Go straight to the bathroom, brush your teeth, put your sneakers on, put your clothes on, go to the gym, or go for your walk, or turn that YouTube video on and just do the workout. Just do it. Don't even... Let me tell y'all something. Your mind will play tricks on you. It's just about us having to control. We allow our thoughts, we allow our emotions, we allow our feelings to control us. We give it way too much power when you really shouldn't give it that much power at all. Now, of course, feelings when they're necessary. If you're sad, cry, yes. And that way, it's important. But when it comes to, I don't feel like going to the gym, or I don't feel like eating healthy today, or I really want that double cheeseburger, don't even give yourself the room to be put in a situation where you're just not going to get it done. It could take time to get into that mindset, but when you're willfully and truly trying to get there, you're gonna get there, girl. How to be productive. Tip number 4. Just start the routine, start the productivity, even if it's just a day. Okay. So start small. It's easy for YouTubers, other social media influencers, even me, to come up here and talk about things like this, but a lot of times when we do these type of videos, we don't keep in mind others' environments. And I know more than anyone that when you're not in the proper environment, when you're not around the proper people, when things are just not great, like honestly, let's be real, this is life. When things just are not great, it can be difficult to be productive. It could be difficult to get your mind frame there, because how can you build a routine in a space where routine isn't allowed? Or you can still build a routine, but it's just not ideal. That's where the space you're in is not ideal. That's where taking your feelings and emotions out of it comes into play. So don't think that I'm trying to say just be productive, because I know there are some of you out there who may not be in the ideal situation to practice productivity, but you can still do something. And don't feel down. And this goes for anyone. Don't feel down. Have self-compassion, which actually leads me to my next tip. Tip number 5, self-compassion. Please be kind to yourself. If you wake up one day and you don't go to the gym, if you wake up one day and you don't do anything on your to-do list, do not sit there and dwell on that. Don't sit there and think, oh my God, I didn't do anything on my to-do. Because what does it do? It puts us into this whirlpool of negativity, and it makes us feel incompetent. It makes us feel insecure. It makes us feel like we're not capable, when we are literally, absolutely, positively, without a doubt, capable of doing it. But things like that takes practice. And just acknowledge the fact that you're aware. Because believe it or not, there are people out there who really could give 2 craps about being productive. There's people out there who don't have productive days at all. and don't have the awareness of it. If you are aware that you didn't get things done, that's all you need to be, is aware. Have the mindset of moving forward. I'm not going to say consistent things over and over again if I know that it's hurting me. I'm not going to dwell on this negative thought if I know that it's putting me into this pool of negativity. I'm going to be at peace with what happened today. I'm going to practice gratitude and be grateful that I woke up this morning and that I was still capable of doing all the things that I was doing, and being grateful for my family and my friends and whatnot. And I'm going to move forward in a way that I can progress. So I didn't do anything today. I'm going to do something tomorrow, and I'm going to write down 2 things that I want to at least get done tomorrow, because clearly I need to start from the very, very beginning, which is where everyone starts. Start and refrain from being really mean and aggressive to yourself when you don't do it. Because if you want to treat somebody else that way, why would you treat yourself that way? And number 5, and if this doesn't get you going, make sure you subscribe so you can find a video that does. Know your why. Wait, I know it's cliche. I hear it all the time. Know your why, know your why, know your why. You know, it's not that it's cliche. It's actually a really real thing. But when you see everybody saying it, all the big motivational speakers saying it, it's kind of like, okay, I get it. Like when they're always telling you something consistently, it's like when your parents are telling you something consistently over and over and over again. You're like, okay, yeah, I get it. And then eventually you get it so much to the point where you just really don't care for it anymore. You completely erase it from your brain. But then it's like, did you actually get it? That's why I'm here. Know your why. If you have a weak why, you're not going to want to do it. You have to really dig deep. Why do I want to clean my house every Saturday? Well, let me tell you something. When I'm in a dirty space, I can't think straight. When I'm in a dirty space, I get really down. When I'm in a dirty space, it just makes me, this is how I feel when I'm in a dirty space. And my why is because I want a peaceful looking home. I want to be able to walk in a nice, clean space. Bro, if you don't have a clean space, get you one. Just make sure you have your why. And make sure it's a deep why. Even if you have to sit there, write it down. Even if while you're writing it down at that moment you can't think of your why, that's good. That's good, because that shows you that it's about to be way deeper than you could ever think. I promise you, it's going to change your perspective on how you maneuver and how you get things done. The purpose of the why is so that when I am in a drought where maybe I went 4 days and I didn't work out, and I'm thinking, oh, I need to get motivated, or I need to look at some motivational speeches and watch some people work out, or whatever the case may be. I don't need to do any of those things. Motivation is only temporary. It's not something that is consistent. But what is consistent is your why. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Get the subscription up, guys. We got things we got to talk about, and people we got to reach, lives we got to change. Summertime's coming, everyone. Make sure you save this video when you aren't feeling the best about your productivity, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.